Hey everyone, it's Sayuro. I hope you're all doing great. I'm doing awesome myself. Today we're back with a brand new video on anime fighting simulator, Endless, where I'm going to show you absolutely everything about the new Valentine's Day Update 2.0. But before we get started, if you want to support me, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and share, and of course, turn on notifications. And now, let's jump straight into the main topic of the video. First of all, if we're going to start with something, it would be this. As you can see in the bottom right, we now have a brand new chocolate currency. We predicted this through the sneak peeks, but it's officially confirmed now. And you'll see that it basically serves the same purpose as a heart currency. In fact, if you want this currency of chocolate, it will allow you go to the base and you take up the floor, and here in the same way that you have always seen. The Valentine's banner is here. You can get. The Yumito champion I had won. You go here and you go chocolate's banner. It is the same thing except it will cost you 2,500 chocolates. I will give an example. I do it once and that. Give me this. Example of 100 Chikara. Because I also have the Game Pass X2 is going to be a bigger one. And that means that I had a 40% chance. You can get it up to the champion rise to you, post on the screen. 0.004% chance of getting it. Who is a very good? The champion, though I have not yet obtained. It's so hard to get guys. So here, if you want, you go down the floor at the base and you go to the chocolate gacha. In this chocolate gacha that you go on, you will have new tokens that will be available to obtain. As you can see, I currently have 3,200, and you can obtain... Wait! There was a little problem apparently. You will obtain up to rank S, which is just here, and which is available at 0.1% chance personally. I give you a small example. I got the first one. It will boost your conversion rate by 1.5. So 1 heart is equivalent to 3 chocolates. That's why I can convert as much as I want. It makes me AX3 in relation to the number of hearts I give to convert them. Then we can directly go to this NPC called Chocolate's Converter. He will help you to convert the heart you have here into chocolate, for example. If I do maximum, I will transform 6.204.31 into 18.840.939 chocolate, as you will see later. You'll have a gacha that will allow you to increase the conversion rate, and that will allow you, with this small amount of hearts, to get as much chocolate behind, more than doubled, so that's really very good. As you can see, a heart is equivalent to 3 chocolates, and it's thanks to this conversion power that I got. And I will show you directly after what it is. Then I think, as you saw just before, there's this new NPC that gives quests. So it's Raya. So it's also a champion that exists in the game, and that we will be able to obtain. There's always Mark Valentine's event below, and she will give us quests. For example, I can show you that I always had one of them, which is right here. So she is there, it's Ezra, it's Unbreakable Wheel. So there I have to do 10,000 creams of durability. I'm at quest number 8, and it seems to me that it gives us, it's marked here. No, it's not marked, but it gives us, it was not the right one. And here's the quest. It seems to me that I had to finish them all, in fact. But yes, it gives quests, and then when you get to the end, it can give you directly rewards. Personally, it doesn't give you slots in addition to champions. But in general, if it doesn't give you a champion, it gives you in general champion slots. So it's pretty cool. Then, as you can see, aesthetically the map has changed a little. That is to say that, as I said in the other video just before, the floors are pink, etc. I thought it was going to be dark purple, but in fact, here are the trees too. There are small spikes with hearts at the end. That's good too. Otherwise, apart from that, the map itself has not changed much. You have the pink trees, etc. Everything is a little bit like that. It's cool. Otherwise, there's no new training at all. There's no any way I will show you every time the screen captures the patch note, in fact, for you to have all the details directly, and that we do not forget anything too. It's important, and on this we can directly move on, because in itself the map is important, but it remains only aesthetics. On the map, I think there are really only 2 main changes. First, there's this bridge that we already saw in the sneak peeks. It actually looks pretty nice, with the water flowing underneath. It's a classic wooden style bridge, and it has pink heart-shaped arches. I'm not even sure if that's the right word, but you get the idea. They're probably lit up at night, since we saw that glowing effect in the sneak peeks. With that transparent look, it definitely seems like they light up after dark. Overall, though, it's mostly aesthetic. And then there's the other bridge on the opposite side, and looks also good. They added a new feature for personal boosts. You can now turn your boost on or off anytime. For example, I have 9 days, 22 hours, and 55 minutes left, and when it's turned off, it pauses and doesn't count down. So while I'm recording right now, it's not being wasted. Honestly, it's a great improvement for all of us. In terms of new content, there's no new aura either, as you can see in the shop right here. The Valentine's box is still there, and it's the exact same one as before. As for the powers, guys, as you can see, there aren't any new ones right now. Everything here was already in the game. Maybe we'll get new powers with the Dimension 2 update. That's very likely. But since Dimension 2 probably isn't coming anytime soon. Next, regarding the champion interface, there's a small but really nice improvement. At the top left, you now have a grid option with 4 little squares. This lets you switch to a wider view of your champion inventory. In the previous video, we saw that we'd be able to get a better overall view, and that's exactly what this does. Instead of rows of 4, you now have rows of 6, which allows you to see way more champions at once. It's really useful. As for swords, there aren't any new ones. The latest one is still the Rupture Sword. We are hyped for news. Now, regarding the new specialties, let's take a look at them directly. To do that, I'm going to show you the new extension of the Valentine's Battle Pass. We've already seen most of it, so let's skip ahead to around tier 40 or 50. Right here, for example, we got something new. The Mika Lens, which is a style. After that, most of the rewards are the usual stuff. Orbs, Chikaras, tokens, and so on. There's another style here. Some really nice boosts, an Endurance Idle Animation, and Titan Run. Then more hearts. But here's what really matters. We get the Ice Fruit, which we saw in the sneak peeks. And something we didn't know about before, a Dark Grimoire. As you'll see, it works together with a sword, and it's actually very cool. The rest is the usual boost item. For example, this one gives X 11.25 yen per minute, lasts 4 minutes, and gives 3,750 Shirkara. And you can use it infinitely. So now, let's move on to testing these 2 great new additions. Let's start with the fruit. To equip it, it's right here. On Z, you have Ice Age. It smashes the ground and creates an explosion. On X, it creates an explosion around your entire body. And on C, it strikes the ground and sends down a kind of divine light attack. So let's test the first ability. The Z creates a ground explosion like this. Honestly, it looks really clean. And the cooldown is pretty low, which is nice. Next, the X ability. You can aim it with your mouse wherever you want. For example, I'll aim at Ezra. When I launch it, it sends out small ice spikes like that. It actually deals pretty good damage, and visually it's very cool. To be fair, ice abilities in games often look similar, so I'm not too surprised, but it's still well done. Then for the C, it launches what looks like a bird-shaped projectile. Let's try it again on Ezra to see the effect. It sends out this kind of ice bird.
I got this! I got this!
But you get the idea of how it works. Overall, it's pretty cool. Now, let's move on to the grimoire. Now for the grimoire. As you can see, I've got this black book floating in front of me. I need to equip a sword first, because if I try to use an ability without the sword equipped, it won't work. So let's equip it and stand right here, so the attacks can actually hit. Boom! That's the first ability. It sends out a black slash, just like we saw in one of the sneak peeks. You see that? Instant slash. It's very fast, and actually deals some really solid damage. Next, the X ability. Boom! It's similar, but slightly different. This time, it sends out multiple slashes, which is pretty cool. The damage seems about the same overall. Then for the C ability, it's also a slash. Watch this. Boom. This one is really nice. Let's zoom out a bit so you can clearly see what it does. I'm going to hold it down. Look at that. It almost feels like it freezes time or shifts dimensions or something. It looks super stylish. A slash goes up into the air, then comes back down and slams into the ground. Honestly, it's very, very cool. And with that, let's move on to the next part. Next, guys, let's talk about the new NPCs that were added to the game. First of all, where we were earlier, they added the title speaker. This NPC lets you change your title when you click on him. And by the way, he uses the character model of the current game owner, the one who's now in charge. You'll see a list of different titles you can equip. For example, VIP if you own the VIP Game Pass. Titles for group members. Titles based on the amount of power you've reached. Titles for old Block Zone players. Moderators, testers, content creators. Roblox premium users. And many more. You just click on the one you want, and it instantly equips it. Then it shows up under your name. So that's another nice new addition to the game. Next, guys, regarding the new NPCs, you'll find Ezra near the volcano, just on the left side. She can give you quests. For example, I'm currently at 8 out of 10. You just talk to her, complete the required objectives, and in the end, you'll be able to obtain her champion. Next, on the other side here, you'll find the NPC hidden behind the waterfall on the island with the gym next to it. This is where you can farm chakra and buy a bloodline. And here, you'll meet Harris. Don't worry. The small cave in the corner still doesn't have anything in it, at least for now. Maybe in the future. Harris also gives quests. There are 5 in total. I'm not exactly sure what the final reward is yet. Maybe champion slots. And apparently, her character is the same one you can obtain by spinning with chocolates, the one with a 0.004% drop chance. And from what we've heard, she actually has very strong stats. Now, guys, regarding the shop, there haven't been many major changes. The only real difference is that the bundles have been adjusted. They now include chocolates and also trade rerolls. We'll talk about those right after this, because you might not know what they are yet, but I'll show you. Don't worry. Aside from that, nothing else has really changed. However, hearts are now separate from Shirkera. They have their own dedicated shop. As you can see, it goes up to around 250 euros. There are also reroll items that look like gemstone fragments. We'll check those out in just a moment and see exactly what they're used for. Now, let's talk about the reroll fragments and traits. If you go near the base, right next to the bridge with the hearts, you'll find the Valentine's Artified banner. There, you can talk to Toritos. Here's how it works. You spin for artifacts using chocolates. Once you get an artifact, you can go into the reroll section, select your artifact, and reroll it to try and get better rarity or better stats. Rerolling gives your artifact extra attributes. For example, bonus strength, bonus sword damage, bonus chakra, and more. I currently have 115 reroll fragments, which allow me to reroll these artifacts and try to get improved stats. You can filter by what you're looking for, and there's also an index showing the rarity tiers and the percentage chances of obtaining each attribute. The rarest one boosts all artifact stats by up to 50%, which is obviously the best outcome. For example, I just obtained one that gives plus 30% speed and agility. But to benefit from it, you need to equip it. You do that through the artifact NPC FP, who is also well known in the AFSE community. Once equipped, chocolates can also be used to level up your artifacts and increase their rarity. Most artifacts can go up to level 25, regardless of rarity. As they level up, their stats improve, and even the name color changes depending on rarity. For example, one of mine gives plus 20% sword gain when equipped. Another one boosts strength and chakra by plus 30%, which is very useful if I'm farming those stats. It doesn't change your character's appearance. It's purely stat-based. Spinning costs 2,250 chocolates per try. You keep spinning until you get the rarity you want. The rarest tier currently has a 0.5% drop rate, which is very hard to get. So far, I've only obtained rarities between 0.5% and 25%. We'll go deeper into the rarest ones in another video once I manage to pull them. But overall, you get the idea. This system gives you extra boosts and helps you progress faster in the game. Also, on the map, you'll still find Esdeep. She's still available, and you can still obtain her champion. I highly recommend getting her before she possibly disappears. It's the same for Minato. He's very strong, especially for fighting bosses like Kurama. He's a really valuable champion to have, and I strongly recommend picking him up. Plus, he's much easier to obtain compared to the new champions, so it's definitely worth it. Also, guys, regarding the new bosses and their locations, for the mini bosses, you'll find Rhea right here. She has a 0.0005% chance to drop her champion, which is extremely rare. You also have a 20% chance to get tokens, and a 1% chance to obtain a trade reroll, and you can find her in different locations across the map. In the same way, you'll still be able to find her right next to the arena, just here. You'll also be able to find her on the island next to the gym, right here. She's located exactly there. Here, of course, you still have both Makomo NPCs right next to the waterfall, on the large island at the back of the map, next to the church where you can farm speed and agility. You'll still find her right here, exactly the same as before. You'll also find him here, next to the area where you farm strength, right by the skull. And that's it, guys. I think we pretty much covered all the mini bosses that were added. Aside from that, I'm now going to show you something very important. All the codes that were released as compensation for the various issues that happened, especially last night when they had to temporarily put the game in private mode and prevent a lot of players from joining. They brought the game back shortly after, which is good. So I'll display all the active codes that can really help you progress, whether you're a beginner or already advanced. On the island, guys, next to the arena, and we'll come back to the arena in a moment because something very interesting was added there too. You'll find a small NPC right here. He already existed in the OG version of the game and sells sword styles. You can get water style, 60%, lightning style, 36%, fire style, 24% legendary, which I currently own. You'll find them in the special section if you scroll down a bit. Right there, we'll test them right after. But I think it was important to point that out first. For the showcase, I removed my Zero accessory since it was blocking part of the view. As you can see, we now have a flaming sword, clearly inspired by Rengoku from Demon Slayer. Let's test it out. Of course, you need to equip your sword first. I'll turn off Auto Train, since we don't need it right now. Let's go through the abilities. Z ability. This is a forward charge attack. It dashes toward the enemy at high speed using one or multiple slashes. You can use it directly on an opponent. It lunges straight forward. You can even use it midair. Personally, I think it works best if you're not holding the movement key at the same time. It's not a super long-range attack, but it's still very clean, and it seems to deal pretty solid damage. X ability, Blooming Flame Undulation. This one performs a spinning circular attack that creates a ring of flames. Boom! It creates a fiery whirlwind around you. It looks very stylish and seems to deal continuous damage for a few seconds. C ability. This one launches a forward slash shaped like a dragon. It looks incredibly cool. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's super stylish. Really impressive visually. We'll have to properly test the damage, but from what we can see, it looks very promising and strong. So guys, as you saw earlier, there was a fruit right next to me, and it turns out it's a Quake fruit, which is a brand new fruit added to the game. I picked it up, of course, and the good news is I still have the ice fruit in my inventory, so I didn't lose it, which is really nice. I actually wanted to check that. Let's look at the abilities. Z, Tremor Punch. This is a powerful punch that deals massive damage over a large range. Here's the first attack. Boom. What's cool is that it doesn't just hit the exact spot you're aiming at. It has extended range. Really solid ability. X Tremor Wave. This sends out a wave-like projectile. Basically a quake ball that explodes on impact when it hits a player. Boom. It launches a sphere forward that explodes at range. Let's try it on Ezra. There, direct hit, and it dealt serious damage. Let's combine it with a W movement ability to test it further. Boom. That hits even harder. C. Tsunami. I think you'll recognize this one. It summons a massive double wave from multiple directions. Boom! 2 giant waves come in and collide. It looks awesome, and the cooldown is actually pretty fast. Let's use it again. Boom! Honestly, I didn't even realize there was a new fruit connected to the boss I'm about to show you next, which is actually the final big addition in this video. Next, guys, we saw earlier that there was supposed to be a shiny rarity for champions. And it turns out that's actually true. However, from what I've heard, only one person has managed to obtain a shiny Raya so far, by defeating the mini-boss. You already have a certain chance to get the regular champion from the boss, but the chance to get the shiny version is even lower. The shiny variant comes with boosted stats and enhanced attributes, but it's extremely rare. Right now, only one player has reportedly obtained it. So yes, it does exist, but it's still incredibly uncommon. Here, guys, let's talk about the Whitebeard boss. This boss spawns every hour and disappears after 15 minutes. He has 3 tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. The higher the tier, the stronger he is, with more HP and higher difficulty. Tier 1 already has 5,000 HP, and he's pretty hard to defeat solo. I honestly recommend fighting him in a team. Another good strategy is server hopping, switching servers to try and find one where the boss has just spawned. They're apparently planning to add a server selection system, similar to what we used to do in games like King Legacy or Shinobi Life 2, when hunting rare drops. The idea is simple. Keep joining different servers until you find one where the boss is active. Trying to defeat him alone is extremely difficult. I tried myself, and at my current level, it's nearly impossible. For Tier 1, I believe there's about a 1% chance to obtain the Whitebeard champion, and the chance of getting the shiny version is even lower. The shiny version has a different appearance, better stats, a unique serial number. For example, shiny Raya currently shows something like number 1, meaning only one player in the entire game has obtained it so far. If more players get it, we might see number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on, depending on how many exist. It works the same way for shiny Whitebeard. Right now, Whitebeard hasn't spawned in my server, but you've already seen what he looks like earlier in the video, so there's no need to show it again. And honestly, I think that covers everything. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that it helped you out. Thanks to everyone who supports me, and don't hesitate to give advice as well. Help is always appreciated. We'll see each other very soon in another video, whether for more updates, showcases, or anything new. Thanks again to all of you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share. And with that, I'll see you very, very soon in the next one.